Now, I'm not a Bible scholar, but I remember some of the stories we learned back in the years when I was in school. So, the story of Noah, okay? So, Noah was a prophet. Noah had the gift of prophecy, and he told people at the time there was a flood coming up. People was like, "Oh, you're talking about a flood? Oh, we always see the rain. It falls, it showers, it shines, and whatever." So they wasn't listening. But Noah told them there was a flood coming because he had a vision about a flood. There was a very big flood coming, and a lot of people would lose their lives. So people didn't listen. So they thought he was taking a piece. He started, the ones that listened, he gathered them, put them on a boat, and then there are those ones that thought he was taking them for a ride. They failed to listen. We don't care what you're saying. You go ahead, do what you want to do. The ones that wanted, believed him. They entered the ship and they closed the doors, and then there was a flood. The ones that didn't listen all perished during the flood. As a chosen one, you may discover that you have got that insight, a gift of prophecy. You can nearly, I could say, almost speak directly with the Most High. So you find yourself, because you are a savior. A prophet is a savior in nature. That's why they prophesy things to help you, to save you from whatever it is, things that could have happened, whatever could be happening probably in the future. So in sometimes you can find, maybe you are telling some people, you're explaining to them, I had a vision, for example, that and that was happening. I had a vision, this and this was happening. So you're warning them. In most of your life, it has been happening and you've been telling people about certain things. You feel, you see, you could almost hear, you could almost smell. And because not only do you want to serve yourself, you also want to serve some people that mean a lot to you. So you tell them, guys, listen, that thing is going on there. I'm not sure if you should follow up. Be careful with this or be careful with that. You're telling people things, and people are like, you're overthinking too much. You know, a lot of times you find yourself talking and you're talking to NPCs because NPCs, they don't have that sense. They only understand the things they have read in the book, or they can only understand the things they watched on TV, on the news, or. So sometimes you're talking to people and they have some kind of deaf ears. They don't understand what you're saying. They don't hear you. You know, they cannot process that particular thing you're talking about. And in most cases, it is going to be very difficult to convince those people. If that has happened to you and you've been talking to people that gave you a deaf ear, like it didn't exist, or whatever you was talking about wasn't making sense, always a time will come when people are going to realize you told them about that particular thing. But in that particular moment, it's too late. Now, it doesn't mean, when I talk about this, I don't always mean that everything that you say is going to be 100% right. But this is like, more or less, I could say, maybe intuition, where something just, you have that nudge, you have that thing inside that there is this thing happening, probably going to happen. You may talk with the people that you know, the people that you care about. Oh, you guys, listen, let's try to go that way. Let's try to go this direction. And in most cases, nobody is going to believe you. Ladies and gentlemen, it will be a matter of time until people will hope and wish they listen to you. Okay? It could even sometimes be a relationship. A woman can abandon you. You know what I mean? I've been having a little bit of cold recently, so that's why, you hear that. A woman could abandon you. A woman could say, oh, I found somebody better. I found somebody better than you. You know what I mean? You've been married for some years. Things was going okay. And now, somebody met somebody better than you. Oh, I have a guy. He bought me a Mercedes. I have this guy. He has a big house with a swimming pool. You're not going anywhere. You're not growing, whatever. They are going to, they'll be like, no, 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 no. Let us end the relationship. And they're going to move on to something else. And sometimes, that thing is happening to me. And then, you're talking to this person, you tell them, listen, we've been building this thing for years. Maybe there's something we could do. There are some mistakes we have in a relationship. It hasn't been smooth. It's not easy to maintain a long-term relationship. So sometimes you talk with them, you tell them, we can change things, we can grow, we can build, we can try to go different directions. And they're not listening. And they're going to go ahead, oh, the grass is greener the other side, they will move. In a few months, they're going to realize they did a mistake. And now they're going to realize that what they had was the exact thing they needed. And then the regrets are going to start kicking in. You see, regret doesn't take a very long time to kick in. But the good part is that when you have already talked about something, then you don't need to continue explaining, because in the first place, the people you've been trying to explain, there wasn't understanding you and they couldn't listen to you. So what you do, you let it go. You can find yourself almost 80% or 90% times of the time you was right, because you have a sixth sense. There is insights. You can almost see things that are hidden behind the scenes. You have the eyes that can look behind the veil. But many people that are around you, they do not relate with that frequency. So they will never hear you when you're talking. They're not listening. Their eyes are closed, deaf. Their eyes are blind and their ears are deaf. They don't listen. They don't know what you're saying. When you listen to people fighting around you because you're trying to talk to them or warn them or enlighten them about something, they're not listening. The best thing you can do is to carry on and go do your own thing. They're going to catch up. When the time is right, they will catch up. Okay? It has come to a point nowadays where I no longer feel I have to keep on warning people, this and this is happening. Sometimes you see somebody, you're helping somebody, because you see one of the things about a truth teller is a person who is embodied in truth. Many people are always going to think or feel, I could say, it's going to feel like you're dragging them out of their comfort zone. Because you see, when a person is very deeply embedded in the fakery, and you come around telling them truth, they don't want to hear you. Because now they are thinking, so now you're telling me about this. So do you mean that now I have to abandon this? I have to leave that and go the other way? They don't even know what you're saying. They will not listen to you. This one I can promise you. They don't hear you. A person who is used to the fakery, that's all they know. They don't understand anything about authenticity. and you are here now telling them everything about truth, they don't want to hear it. It is shaking them out of their comfort zone, and it makes them feel some kind of a way. Now they're going to start hating the person that is speaking that truth. When you're truth teller, you're going to be hated by people, not because you're wrong. No, it's not because you're wrong, but it's because you're talking about something that is very uncomfortable for people to hear. They can't even begin to comprehend the things that you're talking about. Even if sometimes they know on the back of their mind you could be talking about something real. They don't want to hear it. So the only best thing you can do, other ones, when you tell them once, twice, they're not listening, walk away, walk the other way. When the right time comes, they're going to figure it out on their own, okay? You cannot shovel your truth down their throats because it's too choking for them. All right? It's how this whole thing goes, ladies and gentlemen. So one or two times they don't listen, go do your own thing. When the right time comes, they're going to catch up. But let that time come on its own. They will figure it out at some point. Whatever it is you're telling them was the real thing. So let us know what you think. You guys know I do love and appreciate your support. Please book a session if you want to. You may donate or support my channel if you want to. Everything you need, you will find it in the description below. And until then, I will see you guys in my next one. Denzomos signing out. Much love and blessings. Peace.